On the 10th of June, Hope for Zambia, City's first ever cross-border mission trip, began their journey with three guys, Munya, James and myself, as we headed to the Zambia Project's Matoya mission base in Western Zambia for a trip that would take 13 days. And what an adventure it was. Began with very challenging borders through Botswana and Namibia and Zambia. James was definitely the Bear Grylls of the team, showing Munya and I how to set up camp and how to put out stretchers, put up tents, get the porta potty ready, because Munya and I had absolutely no camping experience. We arrived at the base in Matoya on the 12th of June and set up camp in record time because Munya and I are exceptionally fast learners. Our first few days at the base were spent being trained for the evangelism that would take place in a couple of days when we went to the villages. And we also had some opportunity to see the projects that were happening at the Matoya base. We even had opportunity to record some broadcast sessions for Hope Church Mongoose radio station that they used to disciple people in the area and even in the villages. And so we did some recordings of some devotions with them.
Western Zambia is one of the most impoverished provinces in Zambia. To give you a bit of perspective, 3 out of 5 children who are born in Western Zambia die before reaching the age of 5. This is due to lack of clean drinking water and waterborne diseases. Western Zambia is home to a population of about 1 million people. Out of this 1 million people, less than 1% actually have access to a flushing toilet, which also adds on to the burden of waterborne diseases. When it comes to education, less than 8% of students who are enrolled in school actually pass their exams. This situation is further exacerbated due to the scourge of HIV and AIDS, which has left so many orphans and vulnerable children within the region. Many people in this region have never heard of the gospel of Jesus Christ. The Zambia Project was established 20 years ago by a couple who saw the needs that were in that area. One of the first things that they established was an orphanage. This orphanage became home to thousands of children who had been left behind as a result of their parents dying from the HIV and AIDS pandemic. They established a school so that these children could get access to a proper education. This led to them actually seeing more needs beyond the school, which included a clinic. The clinic was established mainly to address the issue of malnourishment. The Zambia Project has also embarked on initiatives which include borehole and well sinking. This was in response to the problem of poor access to clean drinking water, which has directly impacted the mortality rates within the province. The Zambia Project established a church planting initiative. This initiative has seen them putting a target of establishing 2,500 churches. As we speak, they're nearing 200 churches within the province.
The day finally arrived for us to leave the base and head into the villages, taking the good news of Jesus to people that have never heard it before in an area called Latawa. A journey of about 80 kilometers took us 7 hours because of the terrain. It was nothing more than very thick beach sand. 300 meters into the journey, we came around the corner. Unfortunately, our car with the trailer behind got bogged down in the sand. And so the adventure began. The other car pulled us out. We never got stuck in the sand again, but we did lose a bearing cap on the car. And once again, Bear Grylls helped us out. You'll be surprised how many uses the cap from a peaceful sleep canister has. And that cap lasted all the way back home to Joburg 13 days later. But that wasn't the only obstacle that we had to cross or face in terms of getting the gospel to these villages. We had to make several water crossings. We even had to move trees that had fallen across the roads in order to get the good news to people. But can I tell you, all of that was worth it when we actually met the people. A people who are so generous, who are so humble, and yet they have so little. We passed some villages where churches have been established, and on the way through we would always stop and we would be welcomed in song. When we arrived in the village where we were staying for most of the trip, in the evenings we would have some fire time meetings, which was just some meetings around the camp fire, telling some stories from the Bible with a translator. And we would even show some sequels to the Jesus film, some series that they put together in the language of these guys in Latawa. And the children and the adults were just, they couldn't keep their eyes off of the screen as they listened to these stories. During the daytime, we would go to villages that have never been evangelized, and some villages that have recently been evangelized, taking the message of Jesus to them. And it's amazing to see that a simple message of the gospel can reach into people's hearts. The gospel is still the power of God to salvation. And we saw people getting saved from every nation, tribe, and tongue. On the Sunday, we got to preach in two of the churches that have been planted. And once again, we saw God saving people and touching people's lives. We met this old man in one of the villages, and he has recently been saved in the last year or so. And as you can see, he's really old, but he walks with a cane, shuffles along. He walks 2 hours to get to church and 2 hours to get home from church. The pastor from the church where he walks says he has not missed a Sunday since he found Jesus. And this man says that since he met Jesus, his life has changed completely. He knows love, he knows peace, he knows joy, and he just wants other people to come to know Jesus. We wanted to pray with him, and he said, no, I'm going to pray for you guys. I'm going to pray for you guys because I want to see other people in these villages coming to know Jesus. As I finish, I just want to say thank you so much to the guys at Bundu Tech for the sponsorship of the trailer. It made our life so much easier. And then I want to say to you, the people of City Hope Church, 3 of us went to Zambia. We appreciate your prayers so much. You are praying for our safety. You are praying that people would be saved, that they would come into a relationship with Jesus. And Jesus answered that prayer. And so we together, as those who went and those who stayed, brought the hope of Jesus to Zambia. And we together give him praise for what he has done. We look forward to more of these kind of trips in the future.